Are you are you a card sniffer?
Oh, a card sniffer.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yes.
When
Oh.
you buy a brand new game,
Mm,
you rip the cellophane off,
mhm.
you listen to the box fart,
Yep, bring it up. Mhm.
and then you pull out the components
Yeah.
and the manual and stuff. Then you get the card,
Mhm.
unwrap the cards.
Yeah. The first thing I do
What is the first thing
is I
you do?
sniff the cards, and
Do you?
you open them up a little bit so that that fragrance begins to, like, waft upwards,
Oh yeah.
and then you just stick it in your nose. And it's always a little bit different, right? Because,
Right.
I think it started way back when I would play Magic and you'd open a new pack of Magic, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And those cards have a very strong inky smell to them.
Is it ink? I don't know why. What the
It's that
smell
fresh
is,
ink. It's what I always
but
thought it was.
right,
Right.
it's the same thing when it comes to like brand new shoes.
Mhm, mhm.
You get that smell, and it's like takes you back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
you gotta just
I'm a very, like,
take that.
yeah, like smell-oriented person, honestly, so I smell like everything, which can get you in a lot of trouble.
What are you smelling?
Everything. That's the problem.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just you test it, right? I could buy fresh milk and I'll open the milk and I'll smell it.
Fresh milk.
When I.
Does milk have a smell?
What are you
Like,
what?
fresh milk
Excuse
has a
me?
smell?
You don't smell your milk every
I
time
don't
you open
smell
it?
my
Well, how do you
milk.
know when your milk is bad?
I don't leave it out. That's a lie. Anyway, welcome to The Missing Component, a new board game channel where we highlight the wonderful people of our board game community and the awesome games that bring us together. Today, I'm co-hosted by one of my favorite people in the entire world.
Oh, you give me too much honor. Thank you, Richard. All right.
Everyone, this is Jake. Welcome, Jake, to the
Oh,
channel.
thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're also in my top 10 favorite.
Today, we're going to be talking about our top 30 games, the 30 through 21 of our top 30 games. Why 30 games, Jake? Why 30 games?
30 is a great number.
Do you
Because
know why?
uh that's the highest you can roll in Formula Day. I
Oh,
don't know.
shoot. Well, this kind of goes into the second point of how we curated our list. I definitely went to BGG and I looked at my highest rated games
Mhm.
from, I think, 10 through 7.5.
Okay.
And 7.5. So there's probably a little bit lower. I think I got some sevens in there, but just because you rated a game 7 doesn't mean it's a bad game, right?
Sure. No, yeah. Yeah. No, seven's a good score. I would absolutely play a
7.5.
7. Yeah. Yeah.
And I came up with 29, and so I added one more to that list to make it 30, and that's where I came up with 30.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, you started with that. You told me 30. So I just took my top 100 games and I sorted them, ranked them, put them against each other. Um, and then I sort of picked out a couple that were a little too similar because this game sort of represents that game sort of
Mm,
represents this game.
mm-hmm.
And then I had my top 30 and that's how I came up with that list.
Yeah. So, do you combine any games? Is that what you're saying? You combine
Oh yeah.
similar games and
Yeah. I mean if there's no spoilers, but I mean if there's a sequel to a game that and I prefer the sequel. That game is going to be on there just one time. It's not going to be on there twice,
right.
right?
Right.
Or if there's a game that's very, very similar to another game, um, and I like them both about equally, I'll put one of those games on that list, and the other one will get a mention in the same breath. But
Okay.
you
Same.
know, they sort of don't all fit in the top 30, right? Because you have two games that are very similar. You don't want to put them. Well, here's my 29. Here's my 28.
Yeah. They're all good.
They sure
You
are.
want them all in the top 30.
I wish, yeah. Yeah. My top 30 is more like a top 40, right?
All right. My number 30 is you want to guess? You want to try to guess?
Okay, well, you got to give me a little hint, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a Garfield game.
Okay.
Chem Phillips. It is a West Kingdom game.
Let's see, knowing you. Paladins of the West
It
Kingdom?
is Paladins of the West Kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I like Paladin. I don't. I have
Mhm.
the brand new expansion that came out 4 years ago or whatever it was, and I never had a chance to play the expansion. But this is a game where you are. It's a worker placement style game, engine building, but you have a bunch of different colored workers, and you're trying to get the right combination to activate an action, and you're building uh, walls, and you're building like kind of the like defenses of a castle as you are a paladin. And so you have this crew of paladins. What I really like about this game, though, is that you have a crew of paladins that you shuffle up at the beginning of the game, and then every round you're able to draw 3 cards. Choose one to play that round, one to place on top of the deck, and one to place on the bottom of the deck. So you're able to kind of strategize and see a little bit into the future of what's coming up. These paladins give you a little bit extra to work with, and so you can strategize just based on that, uh, rather than just coming up with something on the fly. And so,
Sure.
I this is going to be like a theme for all my games. I really like the idea that you can be creative with your turns, and just because you don't have what you need now, there's ways to manipulate the game and train this guy into this guy, and then use him to buy a card or resources that you need, and then get to where you need to go. But you think creatively outside of the box.
Right. Yeah. Lots of tactics. Right.
Yeah.
Good stuff in there. Yeah. I think Architects is probably my favorite of that, but Paladins is good too. Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Architects, so
Really?
this one
Hmm.
this one was a lot better for me.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Have you played it?
Once a while ago.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I played Architects a little more.
I haven't
but-
played Paladins in so long, but
Oh, okay.
yeah,
But it made the list.
it did. It was
Squeaked in.
the the add-on.
It
at
was the add-in.
I was like,
It was the freebie.
oh shoot, I need a last one.
Can't let me do this with a Paladin.
There it is.
Come on. Okay.
That was my number 30, Paladins of the West Kingdom.
Okay. My number 30, and if we're guessing here, this is a push your luck game.
I'm a terrible guesser. Why are you doing this to me?
This is what you wanted, I thought. No, this is not only a push your luck
Kubitos.
game. This is like
I'm just
the push your luck game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, surprised this was on your list.
This is the Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one.
Yeah, super good, right? So
Didn't make my list, but
no, yeah, I mean,
it's still good.
it's a really interesting one. So it is at its core a push your luck game. But there is a lot going on in what ingredients you buy, what you put into your bag. This one has worked well with a lot of different groups, new players, experienced players, and more times than one, I've taught this game. We've played it all the way through, and then the entire group sort of looks up and goes, "All right, one more go, one more go,
do it again."
Yeah, do it again," because it's quick, it's easy to get into, and you sort of see the combos on the board. Oh, that actually, yeah, combos with that. But if I buy a bunch of those pumpkins, then I'm gonna want more of those mushrooms. Oh, but if the mandrake root's just really good, although he's buying all of the black
You want
moths.
it all. You want it all. in your
Yeah,
bag.
and he's buying black moths, so maybe I won't buy black moths. But then they're gonna get ahead. There's a lot going on.
And you have to upgrade this. Did you?
Oh, this is one of those ones where you need to upgrade it. Yeah. Yeah, gotta go and get those upgraded bits. It just makes it so much better to play. I mean, I played like maybe one time with those cardboard tokens, and then they're out.
Yeah.
Get those little plastic, I don't know, I guess they're Bakelite or whatever, with the upgraded bags.
Yep.
I have some 3D printed chests for the pieces to go in.
Oh wow.
Everyone comments on it, and I feel bad because they say, "Oh, this is great," and they go buy it, and they open the box up, and they go, "What is this garbage?"
Baggies.
But anyway, yeah, that was my number 30.
Nice. Quacks of Quedlinburg. That's gonna be interesting because Jake has games on here that I would not expect to hit for him to have, and so there's gonna be a good mix. I feel like people are gonna enjoy this.
Yeah, well, it's always, I have never heard your top, 30
Yeah.
either, right? And then there's a lot of games that you say you like that just come out of left field. I'm like, what, that game? You've never talked about it, you've never played it, but it's your favorite game? Oh, okay. All right.
No.
No.
Well, I've heard multiple people tell me since I made this YouTube channel, this is the most I've ever heard you talk.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I
maybe
don't talk about
tonight
it
I've heard you talk more tonight than ever. Well, everything
Ever.
combined. Yeah.
All right, my number 29 is a IP game.
Marvel?
There's like it's like in a galaxy far, far away.
Oh, okay.
And
So Marvel.
the Star Wars deck building game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So this is a play on Star Realms, which was one of my first games that I ever purchased.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I haven't played this. Tell me about it.
Okay, so in this game, there's a trade row in the center where you buy cards, a deck building style. Like you have your standard deck, but in this one you have the Empire versus the Rebels, and there's also you're fighting over force, you're fighting over planets, you're fighting over the characters in the center row. So there's a bunch of different things that you're fighting over, and so you have the force on the left side. If you gain force, it comes closer to you, and if it's all the way on your side, you get a little benefit. The guys in the trade row are they have like a neutral faction, and then obviously the rebel and empire faction, and you can only purchase guys from your side to go into your deck, but you can fight the opposing side. So if you don't want your opponent to get that card, let's say Darth Vader, you can kill him before he even gets into
so you can sort of
deck.
battle the enemy's like shop.
Yeah.
That's
It's pretty
actually
cool.
very interesting.
But I mean, you're foregoing sending your combat points or power or whatever to the enemy base, which is a planet, and that's the main goal, is to destroy 4 planets.
Okay.
And so yeah, you deny the player a card, but you are taking longer to destroy the planet.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the planets are really cool. So once you destroy a planet, or somebody they destroy your planet, you get to look through a deck of planets, and they all have like special effects. They're really powerful too. One allows you to trash like 3 cards from your deck.
Okay.
Which
Yeah.
is,
That's
crashing.
super good.
Another one, every time you play a neutral card, you get to draw a card and all this other stuff. So yeah, it's really cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah. You know, it's tougher for me to get 2-player games to the table.
Right.
But there's a lot of really good ones out there, and this one is one I gotta check out.
Yeah, I'm happy to play with you.
Hey, there we go.
That was my number 29 Star Wars deck building game.
Okay, my number 29. Oh, this is another sort of cornerstone game. I think you've played this.
Okay.
It's a 4X.
Twilight.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought this would be a lot higher, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's top 30, right? And what keeps it down here is that you need the right group of people. It's going to take at least 6 hours. I did play a 4-hour game one time.
You got destroyed.
Never again. Well, it was it was a funny situation. I sat down. 4 hours later, I stood up and I was a victor.
Oh wow. You were the destroyer.
I was the destroyer. Yes. Yeah. But they usually take about 6-hour games.
Yeah.
But this game definitely does what no other game can do. It has that long arc of expanding and exploring your empire, sort of colonizing those planets, getting those resources, building things bigger and bigger until things sort of crescendo, right? Because there's only a limited number of resources and everyone wants to complete the objectives. So we all are going to end up butting heads at some point. 4th edition adds in a lot over 3rd edition. They focus a lot more on politics. There's a lot more negotiation. And I love what they did with Mechatol Rex, where there's no political phase until someone gets there. Then it sort of triggers this political phase, and then every round, 2 laws get voted on. So they can drastically influence the course of the game from that point on forward.
Yeah. I played this once and never again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I'm glad, there's a huge fan base out there that will only play this.
Right. Yeah. And that's a lot of people's experiences, right? They hear about it, they play it once, and they go, never again. Which is understandable. If this game is not for everybody. And there's a lot of games in this 4X genre, but this one, it has that space theme, captures that 4X really well. And as long as you're playing with the right people, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. We played, I think it was 8 players. It was a full table.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And I was struggling because I was weaker on the totem pole, and it's hard to come back from that, it looks like. So I kept fighting the other guy to the left of me who was weaker on the totem pole. And I was like, well, I can't do anything. This is my only chance.
Right.
My only choice.
You didn't want to try and make an alliance with him, or?
Oh, I guess I didn't. He just kept staring at me like, yeah, this is the only thing you could do? The only thing, huh? The only thing. He kept losing.
Yeah, Richard's bad at making friends. Hey, we both have cards that can help each other. I have guns.
That was my first play. I didn't know what I was doing.
Sure, yeah.
Anyway.
But anyway, that was my number 29, Twilight Imperium, 4th edition.
Nice. My number 28 is a game. Actually, it's 2 games combined into one. I'm combining 2 games that are very similar, 2 different IPs.
Okay.
Very similar. I'm just throwing them both in here.
Sure.
2-player games.
Okay.
Pretty big.
Okay.
Played this recently.
Is it another Star Wars game?
It's one of them is Star Wars.
Okay, well then it has to be Rebellion.
Rebellion.
Yeah.
Actually, it's the War of the Ring, and yeah, Rebellion. I'll throw in there too because they have very similar components. They similar idea behind the game. You are either Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. You take on the side, one of the sides, and you're trying to manage essentially different, what are they called? Like theaters, right?
Theaters of battle.
Right, for instance, with War of the Ring, which I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, so that's on there. But you are fighting over the ring. You're trying to make Frodo not get to the ring or prevent him or get him to destroy the ring. So there's that tug of war. You're also fighting over the war on the battlefield. So you're taking over different locations on the board.
Sure.
That's a tug of war, and there's like one other tug of war that just you're trying to manage all these things, and you can be doing really well in one area, but not so well in another area, and so you kind of have to manage and essentially roll dice to even the score. So yeah, that's I've had pretty good experiences playing it. It's a once in a lifetime. It's an experience, right? Like
Sure, yeah.
Experience.
It's an experience kind of game, right? This is not a game you're going to play every single weekend, right?
Right.
Yeah, you seem to like those kind of games where they, on the surface, look like big Amerithrash dudes on a map game, but then when you get down to it, it's actually really like risk management, threat management, pushing here, pulling here. And in a 2-player game, yeah, that can really create a lot of tense situations.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just so fun because you come out with it with a story, right? You're playing with the characters, and then you relive the story, and it's funny that Luke actually turns to the dark side, or or you kill Gandalf, and then like, what do you do then? It's like it's a story. It's your own story. So that's my number 28, War of the Ring, and the other one, the Star Wars one.
Fly, you fools! Good pick. That's a good pick. My number 28 here is a sort of a resource management game, where we are building a town and helping shops flourish.
Flamecraft?
Yes.
Are you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you like about this game, Jake?
That's a really good question, Richard. So there's a lot of things I really like about this game. One, everything you do in the game is super rewarding, right? You go to a location and you get the resources you need, but then you also have the ability to take some actions based on that location. And then you can also play a card that gives you more actions, right? Um, if when you're turning in your resources essentially to fulfill these contracts that are out on the board, you don't just get to fulfill these contracts, you can also take all of the actions on one of the locations on the board as well. So everything you're doing, you just feel like you just get that extra little whipped cream and the cherry on top, no matter what's going on. The board fills up. It's a fairly non-combative game, right? You can sort of block people where they're going, but they can just give you a resource and they can go there as well. And if I go somewhere and activate all these abilities that I get a bunch of resources from, intrinsically, I have to make that spot better for everyone else too. So now the next person that goes there gets even more stuff. And maybe that next person is going to be me, you know? um, and at its core, it is, collect the resources, turn them in for contracts. But the theme of this game really shines. Everyone I play it with super loves, you know, having those dragons moving around. The resources sort of are really interesting. How you need to not have certain numbers of them at the end of your turn. You can only have 7 of each resource, so you can't hoard.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, there's just so much going on in this game. There's a lot going on under the covers, right? And it's got a really, really interesting play to it.
Yeah. This is a game
You've played this, right?
I have played this.
Yeah.
It's like an easier game.
Yeah, yeah.
It's easier.
Easier.
It's easier
Yeah.
on the easy side. But what I love about this game is the components, the
Mhm.
upgraded components. I'm an
Well,
upgraded component
I
guy.
love those
I need
upgraded
those metal
components.
coins.
Mm.
They're probably if I did a top 10 of metal coins, it'd be up there.
Oh, those metal coins are nice. They're thick, chunky, splashy,
Yeah.
very good. See,
Yeah.
metal coins are just some of the best ways to upgrade components of any game, right? I'll just add metal coins to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, Flamecraft is no exception. The upgraded components, the upgraded metal coins, the little miniatures instead of the wooden meeples.
Oh, I didn't realize they had meeples.
Yeah, the little
Okay.
miniature.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you didn't realize they had meeples because you're
Yeah.
so used to playing with the miniatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's little dragon meeples normally, but you upgrade them to the red
Yeah, you need
dragon
those.
who's cooking a hot dog, and the black dragon who's pounding an anvil.
I feel like you need the miniatures for this game.
Might.
This is a game where you need miniatures, like because the board gets really busy.
Oh, I see what you're
So
saying.
busy,
Yeah. Mhm.
and to be able to see where your miniature is on the board, like that's
It
very
helps.
helpful.
It definitely helps. Yeah.
I think so.
Mhm. But anyway, yeah, that was my number 28, Flamecraft.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Good pick. Good pick.
Thank you.
My number 27 is a game that I do not own, nor have I ever known. I've been looking for a copy.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. This is a game that came out with a second edition just recently.
Okay. So it
with
must be hard to find.
pandas.
Wait.
Yeah, the second edition came out with pandas.
Second edition comes out with pandas.
It's a CMON game, but it's not dudes on a map.
I don't know. You got me stumped.
My number 27 is Ethnos. Ethnos.
Ethnos.
Yes,
Really? You
I-
like this game?
I love this game.
Wow. Okay.
I try to play it anytime I see it on somebody's shelf.
Wow. What is that's okay. So wait, what's this panda thing you're talking about? I actually don't know anything about this.
Yeah. So the second edition that just came out, Essen maybe? I don't know, remember. Actually, I think it was the Japan CMON Expo. They had a CMON Expo in Japan.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, they have like panda, anamorphic pandas. I don't know what the actual term is, but pandas with actually like humanistic hair,
Okay.
human
Yeah.
qualities.
Anthropomorphic.
Yeah, yeah. And so I haven't played that one, but they feel like they fixed it. It doesn't look. I still would rather prefer the first edition though.
Have you played the reprint of this Archaeo Society, or I guess the second edition of this?
I have not either. I heard
No.
good things about that, and they
Yeah.
fixed things that should have been fixed. I don't. No.
What things are there to fix?
I have no idea.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I've never played Arcanel Society. But what I do like about this is a game for 6 players, which is hard to get, and it plays underneath an hour.
Yes, and it plays 6 well.
It's
Is
very
the thing too, right? There's a lot of games that say they play 6. This one actually does.
Yeah.
And it's snappy, right? Another thing I like about this game is its turns. Draw a card. Yeah, you're done. Boom.
That's it.
Goes right around the table super fast.
Play a set.
Yeah. Play
Yeah.
a set.
Play a set or draw a
Or
card.
draw a
That's it.
card. Yep. And that tense, is the game gonna end? Is it gonna be over?
Yeah.
Okay, no.
Yeah. I love amping people up too. Is it gonna end? Is it gonna Dragon? 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 No, not dragon yet. Dragon. Oh, game over. You lose.
Yeah. Or you go, okay, the game's over.
Oh, no, dragon. Yep, dragon.
Oh, there it is.
All right. But yeah, that was my number 27 Ethnos.
Excellent pick. Good stuff. My number 27. This is a game that sort of started making worker placement and playing cards very popular.
Cards.
Yeah, so like that combination of sort of worker placement, not deck building, but sort of tableau building.
Okay.
Has a foresty theme.
Oh,
Everdell, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen you play any of these games.
Yeah. There's a lot of games to play. There's a lot of good games out there. Wait till I get to my top 20, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
Right, yeah. So Everdell is a worker placement tableau building game set in the Everdell Forest, where you are attempting to collect resources in order to build buildings and then occupy those buildings with inhabitants from your forest. And through this, you're collecting victory points, building bigger buildings in order to produce more resources, and then sort of finding combos where, oh, if I combine, the monk in his temple, I can send people to the temple, and that's gonna, help me out later in the game. Yeah, every play of this one is really interesting. And it always seems like the first couple of rounds just fly by. And then in this 3rd or 4th round is really when the rubber hits the road.
Yeah.
And you got to start thinking about, okay, now I got to know when I want to draw cards, what resources I really want to get. The game is pretty tight because you don't have that many workers. And there's a lot of great expansions for this one. What's interesting about the expansions is they all sort of work individually. I've played a couple of times with multiple of the expansions, and it opens the game up in a lot of different ways. But I sort of prefer to just use one expansion at a time. We'll do the train one this time. Or, okay, actually, we'll do the one where we're doing a mountain adventure this time.
Okay.
And it adds a different sort of flavor to every single play. And that's kind of the way I like to do it.
Yeah. Do you have all the expansions for this? Do you have the big, giant?
No, I don't have the giant box. I have played with that giant box before. Someone else had it. And that was a lot of fun. That was one of the times we played with everything.
Yeah.
Which is fun. If you have everything, you probably want to do that.
4 hours.
It was a longer one.
It was a long one.
It was a longer one. I don't have every single expansion. I know some of the expansions are focused on like the single player aspect as well, and I don't really have those. But I have the majority of them. Yeah. And they all sort of add a different flavor to the game. Yeah. Which is why I like them.
Yeah. I got to play this a lot when it first came out. And we had played a lot of the expansions, and it was a lot. But I love the theming of it. I love the berries components.
Those berries, yeah. This might be a running theme for all my games, is that there's specific components that are just very tactile.
You're a Philly guy.
Well, you gotta play with those coins. You gotta squish those berries. When this game came out, and I saw someone unbox it, and immediately I saw those berries and I fell in love. I was like, well, I need this game.
You gotta
get those berries. I think I stole a berry from him, and I was like, I'm keeping this until I get my own copy.
Don't do that. Don't be stealing components. That's a good pick.
But they're so tasty.
What?
So that was my number 27, Everdell.
Nice. My number 26 is a series of games
Okay.
that are war based. Another 2-player game,
Wow.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Really?
interesting.
All
Yeah,
right.
I really like.
Did you do
I
this on
guess
purpose?
I did not. I just
Okay.
have like very good experiences with one-on-one.
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe
You just have one really good friend.
that's it. Just one. um, but yeah, I like the idea of it. Maybe because it's a deck builder.
Okay.
This is
What is it?
this is Undaunted.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Just vanilla, regular Undaunted?
all of them.
All of them. Okay.
Okay, so I have played Normandy, North
Mhm.
Africa, and the new one,
It was in the
2200.
future, right?
Yeah,
Futuristic.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's even more. There's like Great Britain and reinforcements and all kinds of other.
Okay.
There's a bunch.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
idea is that this is a deck builder that you have your own personal supply of troops and as cards, but also troops on a board that are attacking or gaining. You're trying to um, complete objectives,
Mhm.
and the first one to complete their objective wins. But so you have a deck of cards, and you can add more cards of that character into your deck, and that's basically their HP.
Mhm.
So every time they take a damage, you have to find that card and discard it from the game. If there are no cards, then you remove them from the map. And so the idea that you can strategically add cards to your deck to be able to use a character more often because there's more of that card in that deck. And then, your opponent is trying to counter you with different. It's not like it's not an even fight
Mhm.
most of the times.
Yeah.
It's like you have a tank and I have a bunch of troops, but there's a bunch of points on my side and less points on your side, so you get more advantage, but it's harder for you to score points. And so
Right. Yeah.
it's just very well designed and deck builder. So I
Yeah.
love it.
You ever find yourself not wanting to add any more of a certain card? So you're like, well,
Oh yeah.
Jimmy the Scout has now become a roadblock.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. There's a guy there, yeah, definitely. There's cards where I don't want to use this guy because if I move him, he's gonna take damage and I need him to be able to it's called command, which they are able to control objectives. So if he's out there moving around, he's gonna get attacked,
Right.
and then I won't be able to control any objectives.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting one. Yeah. I played this a while ago. I've only played the first version of it, the World War II
Yeah,
version.
Normandy.
Yeah. 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 It's a lot of fun. I forgot it was a deck builder, honestly.
Yeah. I love deck builders. I don't know.
No, they're a lot of fun. Yep.
That's my number 25.
Yeah. Very cool pick. Another
Number
2-player
22.
game. Um my number 26 works really well as a 2-player game,
Okay.
and it is a newer game. It is a deck builder.
Hey,
It is a
okay. I know.
cooperative game.
No,
It
I don't know.
is Slay the Spire board game.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh. This one is super good. Um
Yeah.
I am a fan of the video game. But really I only got into the video game because of the board game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Okay.
saw yeah, really, yeah, yeah. So I saw sort of a demo of this game at Gen Con, and the demo was really kind enough to sort of run me through it, and I was like, wow, that everything seems like it just works really well. I love the idea of like upgrading cards, the way that like the baddies come out as you flip one, but then at the bottom they come with minions, and you go through this minion deck, and you can sort of see the groups of different baddies you have to fight on your way, escalating up this tower. Um, all work just super well. This is a
Hmm.
cooperative deck building game
Mhm.
where you're ascending a tower and fighting off groups of enemies until you get to the final boss. When you beat the final boss, you can go up to the next level, and you can tackle sort of all of the acts of the game in one sitting, or you can do sort of one at a time and save your game and go from there. So it's campaign-ish, but not like a full campaign
Mhm.
style game. And none of it is legacy, so it's all reusable. All the components are really great. They come with their own sleeves. I've upgraded the coins, of course, because we have the little metal
Yeah.
coins that you can play with.
And you need the sleeves because you have
Yeah,
to be
you do
able
need the
to.
sleeves because the way you upgrade the cards is you flip it over. Okay, yeah, that's how you upgrade it. So it's a really simple, clean way to implement that system. The game itself, there's 4 characters, and each character plays really differently. And then in each character, there's many different ways you can sort of play them depending on the cards you're sort of given to upgrade. And every time you go digging in that card deck, you're like, okay, it's like a treasure chest. What am I going to find?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's all good. It's all, I want to add this, I want to add that, but I don't want my deck to be too thick. So maybe this one. And then sometimes you find those gold cards that are like,
Rares.
yeah, the rares that are like the gemstones of your deck, and you pull those and like, okay, well, I can center my whole strategy around, 1 or 2 of these. This is really good. It plays really good at 2, really good at 3. 4 gets a little bit cumbersome because everyone just wants to help each other, and I can do 1 damage to this guy, 1 damage to that guy. But 2, 3 works really well. The only problem I'd say I have with this game is that it implements the video game so well that I wouldn't really want to play it at 1 because I would just go play Slay the Spire on my computer.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a lot. If you have the collector's edition, it's like a lot to pull out, and you got to shuffle them. You got to find the right cards to make the right decks.
It's not too bad, but yeah, I mean, it's more work than going to sit down and opening up Steam. Yeah. Yeah. But this is a good one. Have you gotten a chance to play this one yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played your copy.
Oh yeah.
It was the 4-player game that you didn't like.
It's not that I don't like it. It's just a little. It's not bad. It's just better at 3 or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, super like this one. That was number 26. 26. Slay the Spire, the board game.
All right. My number 25 is a game by what is his name? Stan Kordonsky. We've just recently talked about this guy.
Okay.
And you've just played this game at a particular event.
Oh. Then I totally know it.
Yeah.
It's obviously the game you're about to say.
Yeah, it's Resurgence.
Oh, Resurgence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that the name? Did I mess it up again?
Resurgence?
It is Resurgence. Right?
I think so, yeah.
What did I say last time?
I don't know. I think you said Rebellion. Yeah, Rebellion. Oh,
okay.
no. So, Resurgence. Yeah. You must be mistaken. The last time I played this was with you, like a year or 2 ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed it.
Yeah.
But this is a game, Stan Kordonsky. He's widely known for just a bunch of different mechanisms all in one box, and makes like a smaller, compact game seem way overblown. But this is a post-apocalyptic. I love this theme. You're building out your own base, and you're using a bag builder type thing where you're putting workers in, you're pulling them out. You're able to use them based on their status, I guess. There's like peons. I always use peons, but they're peon peasants guys, and then there's like guys with engineers or pilots or whatever. And then you have a captain. But there's a kind of bidding phase where you're blind bidding for 3 different areas that you're going to locate these guys and use them on the board or on your personal board. And everyone is blind bidding, and so if you win the bid, you get to move up on a track and it gets you some extra stuff. But if you're 3 more than your opponent, then you get to go up twice on that track, and it's really beneficial because not only do you get bonuses, you also get points for that track too. So that mechanism, and then the worker placement mechanisms, and then there's like mutants or whatever that will block certain areas, and so you're constantly combating over which areas that you think your opponent might need.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, so there's a bunch of competition and fighting for resources and all that stuff, and you're trying to upgrade your personal building as well.
Yeah. This is a super interesting one where you kind of personal building sort of makes your workers better, makes you do better actions over the game or on the game board. And then randomly mutants will attack based on like the event cards, or something like that, right? Yeah, something like that. And yeah, I forgot that there was that bidding phase that you mentioned. That sort of slipped my mind. But I do super like okay, so I got this engineer. As an engineer, I can go over there and scavenge better than the peons, or like the fighter is better at like doing this specific action over on this course on the board. Yeah, really interesting theme, really cool way to implement that sort of like survivalistic, post-apocalyptic, scavenging for resources theme. Yeah, interesting
Yeah.
stuff in this one.
I love it. I even have an idea for something similar. I'd like to create my own game, but yeah, it hits all of it hits all of my spots.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
now you got to do is put your money where your spots are and make that game.
That's my 25 Resurgence.
Really good pick. Yeah, that's a super good game. Good bag builder. My number 25 is a social deduction game. The social deduction game that utilizes sort of a mysterium concept.
Interesting.
You know this one?
I do not.
No. Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to forget about this game. That's why.
Oh, you can't forget about this one. This one is one of the best social deduction
Great
games.
pick. Great pick.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, so Deception, in it, like many other social deduction games, there you're going to be dealt out cards, and you're either an investigator or one person is the murderer. And you're also going to have 8 cards in front of you, 4 red, 4 blue, and they're sort of like murder weapons or evidence left behind or things that were left at the scene of the crime. And then the murderer, unbeknownst to everyone else, sort of picks 2 of those items in front of them, and then the forensic investigator who's working with everybody else has to get everyone to guess what those items are based on word clues that are sort of randomly drawn on these tiles. So, let's say the murderer picked a gas can and a pipe wrench. The forensic investigator might go, oh, okay, well, what was left at the scene of the crime? A smell, maybe like a bad smell because of the gas.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone goes, okay, well, a bad smell. Okay, well, it might be the gas. Oh, but this person has this over here. Oh, yeah, rat poison. I remember that smells bad. And, you're trying to just point people in the right direction over a course of rounds where everyone gets to discuss. One of the reasons I really like this game as a social deduction game is that it doesn't put a ton of pressure on the person who's essentially. In something like a Resistance or like a Spyfall, if you're the odd one out,
yeah,
there's a lot of pressure on you
from
round
shaking.
1.
You're
yeah,
shaking.
you gotta.
Don't pick me. Don't pick me.
Yeah, okay. What does it mean if I have the red card again? This one is not so bad because you can kind of just pick 2 items and then just pretend like you're playing the game. You just say, oh, well, you picked bad smell and a loud sound. Well, that's a car. Cars make bad smells and are loud. Or this person, it could be that because that's a child, like children screaming, or they're loud and they make bad smells.
There's a lot of pressure on the investigator, I feel.
That's true, but you can sort of choose who you want to be the forensic investigator. Right. If someone wants to be it, they can be that person.
I always felt like I had very limited options when I was the forensic investigator, where I couldn't quite describe the 2 items with what I had in front of me.
Right. Yeah.
That's what was frustrating.
That is the game.
Yeah.
If you could just say it was gas can and a pipe wrench, it wouldn't be much of a game, would it? No, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's you're saying that the tiles are very vague, and you're saying, well, the temperament of the murderer, was he angry or saddened or lustful?
Yeah.
I don't know. But you can sort of communicate that without verbally communicating it to the rest of the group, right? Maybe you put that one on last. Maybe you get rid of that one the next time you can flip a new one.
You ever mess up on like the first clue and people are led astray based on your first clue?
Oh, yeah. I've seen that all the time. You have to communicate at the beginning of the game. Those first couple of clues are very important. You get to pick them. Yeah. And then you mess up and, oh, well, okay, how do I steer people back in the right direction? Yeah. Let's right this ship. It's like turning the Titanic. Can I do it in time? But this one just keeps getting played every time I play it with new groups. Everyone likes it. Every time I play with old groups, we have inside jokes, and it just gets better and better. As far as social deduction goes, this is one of the best ones. Number 25, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
Cool. There's some people that like that. My number my number 24 is a game that plays with 2 players.
Okay.
Only 2 players. It's I don't know how to describe this game. This is a game, there's a past, present, and future.
Okay.
I don't think you know.
It's 2 players, past, present, and future. The immediate thing I think of is that one Japanese game where you're trying to avert disaster. The name escapes me, so
Okay.
I can't.
Not sure what that one is. But it's this one right here called That Time You Killed Me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So I don't play a ton, but when I do, I have these really good experiences with people. And so I had a random experience with our convention attendee. I sat down with him because he wasn't, I was trying to engage him, and he was like, "Oh, I really want to play this game," but and he brought it to the convention. I was like, "Let's play it."
Okay.
And so I sat down with him, and
when was this?
At the convention.
Oh, okay. How long ago was it?
Last year, last October.
Last October. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I've never played this one.
Our local convention.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a game where there's a past, present, and future. You're trying to kill your opponent by using, like if you move in the present, the future also moves, but the past doesn't move.
Okay.
And so you can choose which location you want to move, but if you move the past, then all 3 of them are going to move. If you move the future, only the future moves.
It's like a 1 versus many, or is it like is it just a 2-player game? Just 2-player. Okay.
Yeah, and there's like these squares, these levels, right? That is it 6x6 grid or 5x5 grid or whatever?
Sure.
And you're just trying to take their pawn. But the first whatever series of the game is it's just you're just trying to get them, but it evolves over time. So the next game it pulls out different abilities. Like there's a tree where you plant a seed, and then it grows into a bush, and then it grows into a tree.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Or like a rock where you can push the rock some spaces, and then it doesn't move. Like I'm not sure the entirety of the rules because I played it a couple times that one time. And I just really enjoyed my play with it.
Really made an impact on you.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah.
And so now it's sitting over here, still in the wrapper. But I got it, yeah.
Timey-wimey stuff like that is some of my favorite things in video games. So experiencing that in a board game might be really cool. Yeah, gotta break that out at some point. Yeah.
I like that one.
Because I've seen that one, and then it looks really neat. Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with the sneeze when you're recording. Like, all right.
You have a cough button? You should have a cough button somewhere. I don't know. There we go. Yeah.
So that's that was my 24.
Great pick. Sounds like a great pick. Yeah, I got to play that one.
I will play that with you.
Excellent. My number 25 is it's themed as a like a civilization builder game. But really it's like a drafting game at its core, very similar to like a Seven Wonders.
Okay.
It has a really kind of an odd name. In the first round, you're drafting in a rondel. In the second round, you're drafting from a discard pile.
Oh, wow.
There's 5 different colors you can draft. You know this game?
I'm sure I do. Why don't you tell me?
This is Hadara.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love this game.
It's a good game. It's maybe the 25th best game, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, possibly.
This is probably my 50, like within 50 to 31.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, no. So Hadara, it's a drafting game. You're drafting different colors, and different colors mean different things. Yellow is like income, red is like military power, blue is like culture, green is food. And you're making sure that you meet all of these requirements by the end of the round. You got to have enough food to feed everybody. You got to have enough money so that you can actually pay for more people. You got to have enough military to be able to sort of conquer lands, or you can also like sort of co-opt them into your own land. And then culture sort of builds up your empire. You build statues and gain more of different resources. Yeah, it's a really neat one. The different levels of drafting in this game are all really interesting, because first you draft each color in order, picking one and discarding the other one, but then that one you discarded goes into the discard pile for everyone to draft at the end of the round. And that's sort of the two phases of this game, is that rondelle and the drafting from the discard. That always creates a tense situation where you know something in that discard is really good, but it's not on top. So you don't want to take it yet. And you're waiting for someone to sort of take that card and do something with it, and then you're going to want to grab that one underneath there. Or maybe you know a card is really good, but you can't afford it. So you take it out of the rotation and just pitch it for money.
Yeah.
Nobody can get it. Right. Yeah, this one is really interesting. I love that drafting mechanism. It's really easy to play too. Picks up, you can play a 4-player game in like 45 minutes. Yeah. Just a super tight drafting civilization game.
This is on BGA too.
Yeah.
And it plays really well. So if you wanted to check that out, jump on BGA.
Yeah, it plays well on BGA. Yeah, and it's really good as far as like if you're looking for a quick one, because you can play it really fast on BGA. I mean, you can get a game done in like 15 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my 24 Hadara.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like that one. My number 23 is I don't even know how to explain this one.
Start at the beginning.
This is Earth.
Okay. The game Earth?
The game Earth.
Wait, that's your pick.
That's my pick.
Earth.
I don't know how to like give you hints on this one.
But I might say something like, well, it's a nature themed tableau building game. Yeah. Where you're planting different trees and mushrooms in a biome to try and qualify for different objectives before everyone else does.
Oh, that's probably the worst thing about the game. But
that's like the whole game. No, Earth is great. I love Earth. Yeah.
No, sure. So yeah, this is a game where you're getting a bunch of cards and you're doing a bunch of things. But what I like about this particular game is that you're always doing something. Even if it's not your turn. You know, the idea is that you pick an action, you get a good action, everybody else gets less than best action, but they still get to do the whole action and trigger everything of that color. So if you're stacking all of one color, you can trigger a bunch of items on your cards there.
Yeah.
Which can put somebody in a bind when like, I really need to play cards, or I need to get a bunch of sprouts.
Yeah.
But that's going to help you way more than it's going to help me. And I don't want to take that, but I need that because it's going to give me something else.
You can build your board in such a way where if someone picks the yellow action, you get more stuff than they do. Yeah. So it encourages other people to just not pick that, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah. I do like at the beginning of the game, it just feels really rewarding where, okay, sure, you chose to draw cards action and you get to draw a bunch of cards, but I get a couple, right? Or you get to sprout, but hey, I get one sprout out of it, you know?
Yeah. I love this game, and it's pretty easy to teach. But I don't know, Earth. The only thing is you got to like animals and nature and stuff like that. So if you don't like nature, I don't think
a lot of nature themed games coming out recently, huh? Yeah. So
yeah,
who doesn't like nature though?
I don't know. I'm stumped.
Not you.
All right, that was my number 23, Earth.
It's a great pick. Great pick. My number 23, worker placement, deck building. It's an IP game.
This is a Dune. This is Dune. Yep.
Do you want to talk about this one?
No. I want to hear your take on it.
This is Dune. Dune Imperium, specifically. Yeah. So, Dune Imperium, from Direwolf Games. super tight worker placement game, right? You don't get that very many workers, and it's also a super tight deck builder. You might only go through your deck 2 or 3 times in this game. So it becomes really important kind of what you decide to put in, what you decide to take out. Um, but in that very clean sort of design, there's a lot going on the board. Um, and there's a lot of like jockeying for position, trying to get the exact right thing because only one person can go in each spot.
Mhm.
So you might use the ability, okay, I'm going first this round, so I need to go on this spot specifically, which means that I need to actually pile up these resources this round, the round before, so that I have the resource to go on that location.
Mhm.
There's lots of racing people up different tracks. Okay, well, I'm in the lead on the spacing guild, but I really need to get more up to the Fremen track because if I don't get up there quickly, then someone else is going to take that top objective and they're going to score a point. They might win off of that point.
Mm.
So it's sort of like racing up different tracks, collecting your resources, managing where you can go based on that really tight deck building. Yeah, this one's really good. And of course, there's that central battle in the middle
Mhm.
where you have to sort of decide, okay, well, do I want to try and win this? Or do I want to try and lay back, come in second? Do I want to just put like 2 guys in there and maybe get third place? Because everyone in there is going to go away. So every resource you spend on there is essentially gone.
Yeah.
Um, and then you can get into really tight struggles where, oh, 2 people want this. So they end up sending tons of people in there. And then everyone who didn't participate next round has a huge advantage.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, super tight game, really interesting. All the cards have really cool effects on them. And then even when you pass, you sort of get, okay, well, I passed. Normally that's like, okay, I have to wait for everybody else. But you get to add up all of your influence, add up all of your military power, and then get to buy cards from the card row and sort of influence what your next 2 turns are going to look like.
Yeah. That's a really good pick. Uh, I love everything about that game. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever put in a few guys? You're like, oh, I got this battle for sure,
Mm-hmm.
and then somebody plays an intrigue card that totally destroys you,
Yeah.
totally surprises you,
Yeah, some of those intrigue cards where it's like, oh, add like 6 power. And you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that.
or they completely back out, and you're like, wow, I wasted 20 guys, and they
Oh,
didn't even want the battle.
the ability to retreat is always the funniest in that
Yeah.
game because you can feint like, all right, I'm putting 5 guys in. Well, then I'm putting 6 guys in. Well, then I'm taking my 5 guys back. Oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that sort of interplay. So yeah, sort of in that worker placement deck building game, there's some bluffing going on,
Mhm.
right? And there's those intrigue cards, right? All very, very interesting.
Nice.
That was my number 23.
23,
Dune
23.
Imperium. Great expansions too.
Good
Really,
job.
really good.
My number 22 is a card game
Mhm.
that primarily a card game that does engine building very well,
Mm.
very tight.
Mhm.
It is post-apocalyptic. It is
Oh,
it's a portal game.
yeah,
Portal games.
this is that one that isn't Imperial Settlers.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
area of
Yeah, yeah. Keep going.
not Area 51.
Exactly. Area 51.
No, what's the game called? What is it?
51st State.
51st State.
There you go.
51. There you go.
Exactly. You almost had
I
it.
almost had it.
Area 51st State.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a game where components or resources are very tight,
Mhm.
and you're gonna want to draw as many cards as you can because and don't get too attached because this is a post-apocalyptic where um you're gonna lose guys and lose cards and get stuff destroyed, and people can attack your engine
Yeah.
and completely mess it up. Or so they think, because if they attack your base, it gets flipped down, but it becomes a wild for your next thing. And let's say you're stacking bricks, which bricks can turn into more cards and stuff like that. So
Oh yeah.
this is a race to 25. Um, Resources are very tight. You are just getting stuff and trying to be as creative as possible with the limited resources that you have. And so obviously you're going to draw a bunch of cards, play them in front of you, and there's tiers
Sure.
where you get production and you get um, um, other ways, and then eventually you're like, okay, well, I'm getting all this stuff, but I need to score victory points. How do I score victory points? And so you really got to hold on to certain cards that give you victory points. It might give you one or two, but you're going to need those. And then eventually you can trash that card for another card and build on top of it. So
Yeah.
that's a really
How
good
many do
game.
you like to play this with?
Let's see. I played with 3.
3.
I played with 4. And I played with 2. 4 is okay. It does get a little bit long.
Yeah.
Um, but maybe 2 or 3 is
Like 2 and
fine.
3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah. This is a really good game. Yeah. I love the tableau building nature of it, where you're sort of, you're building out resource buildings to get you resources, and then eventually you have to say, well, okay, well, now I need to actually find an engine here, so this can make this resource and that can sort of make that resource.
Hmm.
um yeah,
Yeah.
I played this game with a couple of people who only played Magic,
Mm.
and they sort of picked up on it really quickly because it sort of has that resource generation, put those resources into other things.
Yeah.
um and they really appreciated how much interplay there was in, oh, that building's really good for you, and I'm gonna break it. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah. In my games, people didn't really attack as much for whatever reason. I think one of the, your first play through this, it's kind of like I'm just focused on myself,
Hmm.
and you're not really figuring out how to outplay or counterplay. So
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
you got a lot of cards in front of you, and you're trying to really focus on what it is you're trying to do, and not really.
yeah. Would you
It's
say
a
this
bit.
one's like harder to pick up and grok, or
I
that
think
sort of?
so. I mean, I've taught it a bunch of times, and people were able to figure it out. But um, like if you've played it before, you're gonna win.
Oh,
You're
sure.
gonna win.
Yeah, yeah.
So with that, people get discouraged, and
But you're
they
not
feel
supposed
like,
to
oh,
crush people, Richard. You can just win by a little bit.
okay, I get that, but I taught the game.
I deserve to win. I did the work,
I tell
and
you
now I want
everything
the
I know.
reward.
I literally taught you everything I know about the game. There's no excuses. Playing by the same rules.
You know everything I know. Now take your lumps.
That is my that is this game. That's my number 22, 51st State.
It's a good game. A lot of numbers. Um, my number 22, newer-ish addition to the list is a rondel. I don't know if you've played this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Japanese themed game
Mm-hmm.
where you are strolling through the marketplace, picking up different items along the way, trying to create sets of items, but you're also running a stall and you're hiring new people for your stall
Mm.
to sell different items. And then they retire. And then when they retire, they sort of give you those like um honor points as
Interesting.
they in retirement. It's called Iki.
Iki. Okay.
Iki, yeah.
Mm.
This is a really neat one. And as I said, you're sort of moving your piece around this rondel, and then that's determined by turn order, which you sort of bid on at the beginning of the round. And then during the round, you move around, you buy different things depending on where you land, but you can also sort of hire people for your shops that are going to be able to sell goods, and they sell to everybody, right? So if I
Mm.
hire somebody that sells shoes, I can visit that shop, but everyone else can visit that shop and buy from my guy.
Mm.
And the more people that buy from him, the more experienced he gets. And the more experience he gets, eventually he's going to retire. And when he retires, he's going to give you bonuses in his retirement, where he's going to get, like a pension, but he gives it to you.
Mm.
I don't know. um,
Was this one an award? Did it?
um,
Was it like a
possibly.
spiel?
I think so. I think it was in the running for that.
Maybe
I
nominated.
don't believe
Okay.
it won. But it was nominated for the Spiel, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played this, but yeah, I've heard it from the nomination.
Yeah, super neat one. It's pretty breezy to teach. The game takes place over basically 12 rounds, but it goes by pretty quickly because you're simply moving, performing an action, and then hiring somebody. Um, and then the main thrust of the game is collecting sets. If you want to collect sets of fish or collect sets of tobacco pipes and pouches, And then you're just working on getting as much like honor as possible.
Cool.
Iki, which is the sort of the
Yeah.
like humbling radiance of the time, or yeah,
Nice.
that sort of
What
thing.
do you like about this game?
Um,
Why is it on your list? Why
that's a
is
real
that?
that's a really good question.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the just hiring new people and that seeing how that sort of changes the landscape of like where people are going to shop. And I love the idea of me having my own supply of sort of workers that are selling goods, getting the income, and then once they retire, they're going to, add sort of to my general income as the seasons move forward.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of like tableau building involved in this game as well.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, and then you're sort of jockeying for position with everybody as far as like turn order, how far you're going to move. You can influence how far you're going to move by spending shoes. Your Nikes can make you run a little bit faster.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And you can earn victory points that ekier in a lot of different ways. So you can sort of be the guy who's I'm going to build big buildings and then I'm going to sort of shape the board,
Yeah.
or I'm going to collect sets of all the really really valuable items. Or you
Cool.
can say, well, I'm going to hire more workers than everybody, and then I'm going to control the shops. Yeah, lots of different stuff, lots of different
Different
paths to
strategies.
victory, lots of different strategies, lots of tactical decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be a theme for you too. Where you like different strategies that you can take
Oh, sure, yeah,
for a
yeah.
game.
Well, I mean, yeah, you want varied games, right? You don't want a game to feel the same every time you play it.
Right, right, right.
Yeah. But
Nice.
yeah, anyway, that was my number 22 Iki.
Cool. All right, last one.
Last one.
Last one
Yeah.
for this one.
Last one. Last
Number
one for you.
21
Last one for me.
is a game. Number 21 is a game that is it my oldest game? It's my oldest game
No way.
on my top 30, I
Oh,
think.
okay. Okay.
And
What year did it come out?
1997.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
this has had multiple reprints
Mm-hmm.
as well as like an upgrade, like a not a second edition, but a sequel. It even had a threequel. What's triplet? A third.
Yeah.
A third.
A thrice cool.
A thrice cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Well, I don't know.
it's what is his name? Reiner Knizia.
This isn't
This is the first one.
is this Raw?
This is not Yellow and Yangtze, but
Tigers and Euphrates.
Tigers
Oh,
and Euphrates.
okay.
Yeah, I really like this game. It has a unique
Mm.
and it's still unique to this day. Uh play style, play experience where you are shielding tiles and you're placing tiles on a map and you're adding to these different cities. You have leaders that are able to acquire resources or victory points from matching tiles that you place out. And you're trying to create sets. I like to describe it as sets. Like you're creating. So if you get all four of each color
Yeah.
points, that's 1 point. And so at the end of the game, you're going to score victory points based on the least resource that you acquired.
That is the easiest way to explain it. Is you score 1 point per set of
Per set.
resources. Yeah.
Yeah. So either
And yellows are random, or not random. Wild.
the whites are wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the game will end once somebody has collected every white but one or two, one or zero white tokens.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Once all of them except one are gone, or something like that.
Yeah. But what I really like about this game is that you're able to create wars with peop other people at the table. You know, somebody has a really strong city and a lot of control over here. You can make him fight that person over there, and then you can swoop in and
Yeah.
fight at the end. And
Making people fight. Yes.
making people fight.
yes.
I like that.
This external versus internal conflict.
Yeah. And yeah, I haven't played like the full advanced version yet because every time I've played it, I have to teach it. It's the everybody at the table's first time playing. So
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, well, I'll just teach you the basic version and not add the extra buildings. But there is a cool effect where if you can create a 2x2 grid of the same color, then a temple goes on that space, and then points will be divvied out at the end of each turn
Yeah.
if you're connected to it, if you have a leader connected to it. So,
Yeah.
really cool experience. Yeah, being able to create wars and have those play out is hilarious and fun. And
It is a super neat one. You always think that you know how a conflict is going to end when you go into it until you say, okay, well, I'm going to fight you here. You know, my 8 blues are going to fight your 2 blues. And it
yeah,
should be fine. And the
yeah, yeah,
person is like, I actually have 6 blues.
yeah.
You're
And
like,
they win.
oh, dang it.
Yeah, and then that destroys that entire city that you just had because there's can only be one leader
Yeah.
in each city.
I think hexagons or bestagons. I have yellow and Yangtze on my list
Yeah.
for this sort of pick.
Oh, you're not supposed to tell me.
It's number 70.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I still haven't played Yellow Yangtze, and I still
Oh.
haven't played Huang because I just got that too.
Oh, Huang is yellow and Yangtze.
No, I mean it does have hexes,
Yeah.
but it's the threequel, right? It's the 3.
It's the same game.
It is the same
It's
game.
the same
It's not the
exact
same
game.
game.
It's exactly the same. Unless I'm mistaken, which is possible.
Yeah,
Um,
might be.
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Jake's never wrong.
It's probably not the same. You
Jake's
probably
never wrong.
didn't buy the same game
I'm
twice.
very frequently wrong. So let's just go with what Jake says. All right. That's my number 21.
Yellow and Yanks. No, Tigris and Euphrates.
Tigres,
Huang?
yes. All of it.
It's a good pick. I enjoy that game. Yes. My number 21, last one for this list, 21, is it's a set collection game. It's Bruno Cathala. It's underwater themed.
Does that give it away right there?
It kind of does, yeah.
Water cities.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I think that was Vladimir.
Underwater Cities is a really good game though. This is Abyss.
Abyss.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Tell me more.
Super good game. Really simple. You get an action on your turn to either collect citizens from the court, which are colored cards of different value, purple cards, red cards, yellow cards of different varying values, or you can turn these cards in for leaders, and the leaders are going to give you special effects that are going to influence how you play the game. And they're all really interesting. But then, crucially, the more leaders you collect, you hit a certain point, and then you have to turn them all in. You lose their powers, and you get a plot of land. And those lands are really how you score those victory points. That's where a lot of your points come from. And those lands can say, okay, well, they score victory points per this number of leader or per this color of card that you have the most of in your hand. And that's essentially the whole game. But what makes it really interesting is on your turn, there's a little bit of theater you can do where you flip a card as like a resource card. I just want to get a resource. Okay, I'll flip a card. Ooh, a green 4. That's pretty good. Does anyone want to buy this from me? And people can buy parts of your turn from you, parts of your resources that belong to you before you have a chance to get them. And you kind of want them to, even if it's a really good card, because the money they give you can be utilized for points or, extra things, extra items in the game. So it's really interesting. And then if someone buys that one from you, if the next one is really good too, someone else can buy it from you, but now it's more expensive. So you're sort of saying, oh, well, you're not going to let me have this 5 for free, right? You want to pay me for it. You want to pay me $2 for this 5er, right? And then you can just keep flipping until you find one that you want. And no one wants to buy from you, and the rest go in discard piles. But that's sort of rewarding too, because you're helping other players out. Because on your turn, you can say, wow, he just passed up on a bunch of blues. And sure, they're all 1s, but there's like 6 of them. So I'll just take the whole pile. You take the whole pile of blues. Yeah. So you're constantly helping yourself while helping other people. Even the choices you make when you buy those plots of land. you can look at a certain amount, but the more that you look at, the more sort of go out into the open tableau for everyone else. So you're
Yeah.
giving everyone else options, and the options that you don't want, maybe somebody else does want.
Yeah.
So you have to decide how much you want to help yourself versus how much you want to help other people. Um, really interesting choices. Very tight game.
Mm-hmm. The
And
artwork,
super simple and fast.
the artwork on this game is incredible.
Yeah, it's really good art. Super good art. So good that they had like 5 different covers. Yeah. And you could collect them all, right?
I don't know if you want to, but have you played this with the expansions? Is there 1 or 2?
There's 2 expansions.
Kraken Leviathan.
There's the Kraken, or I guess Leviathan expansion that sort of opens up how that Leviathan works. In the base game, you either take some rewards or you move the token down. The next person gets better stuff. Take some rewards or move the token down.
Would you recommend either of those?
If you've played the game and you enjoy it, yes. If you play the game with a lot of new people, I would say no. Because new people, you definitely want to take those out. And also, there's some small issues with the expansion where the cards are like slightly different sizes, so you have to sleeve everything.
Gotta sleeve.
If you want to take the expansion cards out, the symbol for the expansion is like the tiniest little dot in the corner of the card, so it's kind of hard to separate. Yeah, the expansion has a couple of issues, but the base game itself, super great. Definitely go and try this one out if you haven't. It's quick, really interesting decisions, and it's pretty unique in its space, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it play 5?
With one of the expansions, it
Okay.
plays 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it plays 4 normally.
But yeah, that's a really good pick. I like it.
Yeah.
So that is our top 30 through 21 games of all time. My time is a lot shorter.
For now.
I think Jake has played a lot more games than I have, so and for longer.
Oh, well, it's possible. I don't know. We've both been doing this a long time. We've definitely played different varieties of games though, right? And I think that's where we really shine, is that you'll talk about these games and I was like, oh yeah, I need to get those played. And I'll talk about games and you're like, I haven't played those. And I'm like, why not? And you're like, well, why haven't you played mine?
And we got to get them to the table and play them together.
Yeah, but then there's always new stuff coming out.
Always new stuff.
Always new stuff. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. I just got a shipment of a new armful of things that I gotta get to the table.
All right. Well, that's the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. Damn, I didn't have an outro prepared.
Oh, that's fine. No, yeah. Well, thanks for watching. This has been Rich, and I'm Jake. Thanks for tuning in to some Missing Component top 10 lists, top 100 games of all time.
Top 100.
Top 100 of all time, 30 through 21.
Yeah.
Having fun.
Yeah. If you like this content, be sure to subscribe and like this video and do all the things. It really encourages us to continue doing this stuff.
Does really help us out. Yeah. So what I want to sort of leave them off with a question. What would be in their sort of top 30, right? 30? Yeah. So if they had to put together a list, what would be their like 30 through 21?
Yeah.
Let
us know in the comments.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I wonder if it's going to be similar to our lists, or maybe we just play weird stuff and nobody's ever played any of these games. I would actually say maybe more towards your side, right? But
what's that?
No,
I have a weird list.
No. I mean, I've
I am the weird one.
What's that? Resurgence? Who's played that? No.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I'd love to see where we match up and sort of where our community sort of sits as far as like
crossovers.
Do people like Deception? Do people like Quacks? Right? This is sort of an interesting thing that I would like to know personally.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just let us know.
Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned because we'll have 20 through 11. God, numbers.
It's
20
hard.
Through 11.
It's 20 through 11.
Very soon. We'll get that out to you guys. All right. Thank you very much. See ya next
Peace.
time.